Hello, I'm Ryan Crosby. I'm going to show you how to heat and bulge out an area in our Ride Custom back. This is useful when you might have someone with a spinous process or a bony prominence like a scapula that is not getting enough relief in their custom back shell. You want to give them a little bit more relief. Or maybe a lot more relief. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to use this back as an example. We just used it to heat and open, so there's a little bit of a damage to the shell, but we're going to focus right on this area, the right scapula. And first you're going to palpate and determine where that scap is hitting on the shell. And once you've identified that area, kind of outline that on your back shell with a marker. This is a silver Sharpie I'm using. Okay, and now I'm going to separate my shells and pull these two apart. I've already taken my cover and screws out, so it's easier to do. And what I'm going to do is actually physically cut that part out of the back support. It's not going to affect the structural integrity as long as you don't get too close to the edge. You want to leave at least an inch and a half between the edge of your hole to the edge of the shell. First thing you want to do is drill a pilot hole in the back support so that you can get your jigsaw blade through it. And the jigsaw that we're going to use this is a variable speed, which I really like, and the blade is very important. You need to get a blade that has 10 to 14 teeth per inch. And that is so that it doesn't heat the plastic up too much as it cuts through. It makes it a lot easier to cut through with this 10 to 14 teeth. Okay? Get your safety glasses on. I'm going to drill this pilot hole. Just kind of oval it out a little bit so I can get my blade through there. When I cut this, I want the base of this saw to try to sit as closely on the shell as possible. If it's away, if you're holding it up above that, it tends to vibrate and chatter a little bit. It makes it a little more difficult. And you might have to reposition a couple times. I have to change directions because of the shape of the back. All right, clean it. Just clean that up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take our deburring tool. This deburring tool is a single direction tool. You're going to pull it towards you and just kind of clean up the edges of that hole, both inside and out. Okay. And now I'm going to put, actually on the inside of the back liner, you're going to want to peel this spandex back out of the way. This spandex is just there to cover up our vent holes for aesthetic reasons only. I'm going to pull that off and just set that off to the side. Okay, and now I'm going to put these shells back together and trace the hole that I've cut onto the inner shell. And now I'm going to heat this, just the back side of this inner shell. And if you're close to any kind of spacer mesh here or there, you want to peel that mesh back out of the way so that you're not going to heat it and accidentally melt it. So I'm going to trim the tape that holds the liner to the shell and peel back that foam. Or it's not foam, it's a 3D mesh liner. Okay. Just get that nice out of the way because I don't want that anywhere near where I'm going to heat. So if it doesn't want to stay put, you could always take some 2-inch masking tape, tape that liner out of the way so you're not having to fight it. Okay, and now this tape is a little close to my line too. I'm going to just peel that back out of the way. Okay, now I'm just going to heat this till it turns a nice caramel brownish looking color. Doesn't take much. And I want to have handy, I'm going to use a ball peen hammer, a little hammer to push out the shell. You'll see what I'm going to do. You could also perhaps use your finger, but it's going to be pretty hot, so I like to use the tool. It doesn't take very long to heat this up. Just right in that area that you've identified. Wait till it gets a nice brownish color. Sometimes you don't have to peel the material, the foam out of the way. So I'm not going to heat on the inside, just on the outside. Okay, I'm just going to see where I'm at. Make sure, oh yeah, there we go. So put these shells back together. And now I'm going to push from the inside through that hole that I've created. I want to be gentle. If you push too hard, you're going to just poke a hole in their shell. So I just want to get this, I can really go quite a distance. Okay. I'm at least an inch through that shell at this point. Okay, I'm going to let that cool. If you want, you could pour a little bit of water over that to help cool it quicker. Or if you have the time, just let it cool naturally. I'm just going to try to cool that up enough. There we go. And that is our heat and bulge. So what I want to do though is when you have this back together, you don't necessarily want to see a big white bulge in the back of the shell. So that's where that spandex is going to come into play. Normally you'll get enough spandex. I'm going to just trim out a section, but you could trim out the center section and you'll have 3 pieces. 3, 1 to cover each vent hole. You might have to add some spray glue. But once you cover that up and you put your shells back together, the black spandex makes that look a lot nicer, so you're not looking at a big obtrusive white bulge in the back of the shell. You need to get your mesh back into position, so untape that and just bring that, you might have to add a little more spray glue here. Super 77 that you can buy, 3M makes that spray glue. You can buy that at most hardware stores, but just mist that, line this back up, and then using 2-inch masking tape, get the good masking tape. Don't buy the cheap stuff. This does really make a difference. And then go back and tape this back down all the way around where you've peeled it away. Starting from the inside and then peeling, pulling back to the back side of the shell. That creates a nice rounded edge for that 3D mesh. And then you can put your cover on, put your shells back together, and you're good to go. You've just created a bulge of relief in the shell for that bony prominence. If you have any further questions, reach out to us here at Ride Designs. We're happy to help. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.